Hello. So today I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about a topic that's really passionate to me, and that is about feeling alone or feeling forgotten by God in a season where it feels like maybe your calling isn't there. So I was called into ministry at a very young age of 11 or 12. And I knew from that moment I was going to do ministry. I didn't know necessarily what kind of ministry, but I knew I was going to do it. When I was 18, I got married to my childhood sweetheart, and we got pregnant 2 months after we got married. And so I had my first baby at 19. And that was an amazing experience. I loved having babies, don't get me wrong. But what happened was that when my husband was in the Marine Corps, we got stationed in California, and I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any family there. And that feeling of loneliness really began to set in. And social media especially is really good at lying to women and saying that there's not fulfillment in the home, and I kept feeling like a failure or like I wasn't enough because I was just at home with my babies, and I felt like God was forgetting about me, or maybe his calling was no longer there because I had messed up and done some stuff in high school that I shouldn't have done. And I felt like maybe his calling was no longer on my life. And I just want to tell you, if anybody's in a similar situation, that maybe they're at home with their babies, or maybe they just have really messed up and dropped the ball, I want to tell you that those are lies from the enemy, and the enemy is really, really good at using social media to get in our heads, to get in our thoughts, to get in our hearts, and really just discourage us. And make us feel forgotten, or like God has forgotten us, or he no longer wants to use us. But I want to come here and I want to tell you, and I want to cut through the fog of deception, the fog of lies, that God absolutely loves you, that God is in the business of restoration. He's in the business of second chances. And so if you feel alone right now, I want you to know that that is the enemy. That is not of God. And if your season of being alone is at home with your babies, know that that is the best season that you can be in. But I did specifically want to talk even more so specifically, I guess, to the woman who is at home with her babies right now. Because again, the enemy is doing everything he can to lessen that job, but that is more important than anything you can do outside of the home. When I was done having babies, I had my 3 babies. I went to college right away. I don't even remember how old my son was when I started college. Maybe a year. Maybe he was a year old. Anyways, and I got my degree just recently. And the moment of getting my degree was nothing compared to the moment of having a child. They're not even in the same league. And I had put so much hope in the basket of having a degree for so many years while I had babies. I kept putting hope in that, well, when I get a degree, then I'll be fulfilled. When I get a degree, then I'll feel like I matter. Then I'll feel like I'm worth something. I can't even tell you. They're not even in the same realm of having babies. They're not even comparable. My degree is cool and it's awesome, but when I got my degree, it was like any other day. I was just like, oh, look, it came in my email. Came in the mail. It was an achievement, and I'm thankful and I'm proud. But having that baby that's going to church, getting involved in church, following Jesus, that is such a bigger accomplishment to me than any degree or piece of paper. And so I just wanted to get on here and I wanted to remind you that you are seen, you are loved, and no matter what your calling was, whether it was ministry or something else, that you are still called. God has a purpose for you, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. So I wanted to remind you of that. Rise up, woman of God.